doing our best. We have ensured that government is working. That was all we found on the ground when we came, because every facet of government was abandoned by the time we came. We now move to revive, to re-engineer the civil service. We cut down the number of ministries from 25 to 16. We cut down the number of permanent secretaries from 60 to 28, so that we can re-engineer the civil service so they can perform at the optimum. And all areas, essential areas of governance, we are taking care of. Our hospitals are running. We are giving water to the people. We are feeding our children in school. And in spite of all that, we are able to commence some projects that are meaningful to the people. For example, in all the local governments, 20 in number, we have either completed or we are in the process of completing a primary health center along with the staff quarters, along with the VIP latrines, as they are called. In every local government, 20 in number, we have constructed a solar-powered borehole that is working right now as I'm talking. And in the urban areas, the 3 urban areas of Bauchi State, Bauchi, Azare, and Misau, we have constructed 15 number of boreholes in all all around the metropolis. And together with UNICEF, we have constructed 300 boreholes all over the state. Again, together with UNICEF in the WASH program, where we are participating, we are giving our own counterpart, yes. We have rehabilitated 720 boreholes all over the state. We have commenced a major road project that is dear to a very large percentage of the people of Bauchi State. This road was constructed during the Second Republic. All other governments after that have abandoned or neglected that road.
About 30 years ago.
Yes, this road starts from a place called Misau in the Central Senatorial District, and it goes through to Harbawa, Chimedi, Bulkachua, Udubo, and Gamawa. It's a distance of close to 100 kilometers with 2 major bridges. And we have given it to a reputable company that is working in Abuja. CGC is a Chinese company. They have done the 2 bridges according to international standard, and they are working on the road now. They have commenced laying of asphalt in some portions of the road. This road, the difference between it and some other jobs being done elsewhere is the fact that with the resources I am using to construct that road, I could have chosen to do roads within the capital of Bauchi State. So and if I want to do that, I would have done 30, 40, or 50 roads, you know. But that means that it's only people within the capital of the state that enjoy that, and then my praises would have been sung. But I took a deliberate decision to construct that road because it's meaningful. Within Bauchi Metropolis also, we are constructing 3 roads, and they are ongoing. The beauty of it is, despite the paucity of resources, these companies that are doing this work are not doing it with a single kobo. I think people should tarry and think, you know, how are we managing this? Because it's very, very important in the midst of paucity of resources for you to be able to at least maintain payment of salaries, owing only 1 month salary, and still do all these works. And for anybody who cares to follow, the moment the Federation account is held, a day or 2 after, the results are published in Nigerian newspapers. So if you want, you can see what Bauchi State takes home. It's very, very clear. And by the time you now take it home, you apply the amount required for salary, the amount required for pension, and then after that you just take 2 heads of expenditure. The feeding of secondary schools,
boarding schools,
I expend 120 million each month. constitutionally, there are 3 independent arms of government. I must give them their stipend to run as they wish. The legislature, I give 145 million naira. The judiciary, I give 50 million naira. So if you take only this and apply it, you will discover that there's virtually nothing that remains for the performance of all these works. But somehow, because we are able to plug all the loopholes for wastages, and we are able to virtually stamp out corrupt practices, we are able to save enough to be able to do all these things we are doing.
One of the cases against you is that money is not circulating. That money is not circulating, and with that, a number of people are not happy with you.
Well, we have to make a choice to either work for the people or allow money to circulate. By working for the people, money is circulating. For example, I paid over 300 million naira compensation to enable me to give 640 hectares of land to the Nigerian Air Force to establish an Air Force base. In fact, it's a divisional headquarters of the Air Force now. It's going to be a divisional headquarters of the airport. If you go to that place now, what is going on?
Courtesy of the chief of air staff, who is an indigenous of Bauchi.
I wouldn't know that. I wouldn't know whether it's courtesy of him, because I know there is an Air Force Council that takes that decision. The decision is not his alone, but they are building that. And if you go to that place now, work is going on, and a lot of the indigenes of Bauchi State are employed for that purpose. If you go to the area where this road I have talked about is being constructed, people are being employed. So money is circulating. The only difference is that it's not circulating the same way that it was being done before. You pay salaries, or you refuse to pay salaries, you put the money on the ground, you distribute, as it was done during the past government. I have refused to do that. For that reason, I have incurred the wrath even of my political party members, because I have been trying to tell them that what we mean by change does not mean removing the PDP, replacing them with APC, and then business will continue as usual. No, that is not the kind of change we intend to bring to Bauchi State.
Okay, the other issue is that you are hardly in Bauchi State, that you spend most part of your time in Abuja, which is what they also say of your immediate predecessor, that you are more like an Abuja-based governor.
Is that true? It's not true. Those guys have lost touch with their home base. That is why they're saying that. You can ask around. I insist. You are represented in Bauchi State. You have a station in Bauchi State. Go and ask questions on the streets. What I do, you see, what most people do not know is that a governor must be in Abuja, one way or the other. For example, there are bodies like the Council of States, of which the governor is a member, that meets periodically. There is the National Economic Council. It meets periodically. There is also the Nigerian Governors Forum that meets periodically. There's also the Progressive Governors Forum that meets periodically. There's the Northern Governors Forum that meets periodically. For one reason or the other, the governor must be away from his state. And particularly since you are managing poverty, it is foolhardy for you to closet yourself within your cocoon. There is no way you can be able to bring the states out of the doldrums. You must go out and attract investment. And this investment is not going to be done while you are sitting at home so that you want to impress some people who will accuse you of not staying at home. And what I usually do is, if for any reason, for example, now, I am in Abuja. I have a meeting of the National Economic Council on Thursday. If I travel, I'll travel by air with all my paraphernalia. It's money being spent. So if I should go back to Bauchi now, let's say on Sunday, by Tuesday, or Wednesday at most, I must turn back and come to Abuja. It will be wasting a lot of resources of the government of the state. So I have been, along with all my two wives, we have been Bauchi based, to the extent that as a Muslim, when I come to Abuja now, I shorten my prayer. Because this is not my base. Abuja is not my base. Bauchi is my base. And everybody in Bauchi can attest to that. And if any need arises where I have to be in Abuja for long, and then when I'm about to now leave for Bauchi, the notice of a new meeting comes up, what I'll do is I'll go back and then I'll send my deputy. But there are certain bodies that they frown on representation, like the Council of State. You must come yourself. So this is what is happening.
From what you've said, you seem to have done well in managing the resources, but then Nigerians have issues with state governors. Almost all of you depend on the Federation account, except for Lagos most times. What are you doing with the economic crisis we have and all of that? What are you doing as a governor to diversify the revenue because of the states? Because the economy is already diversified, going by the GDP, contribution by ICT and all of that. The revenue sources of the states.
Well, actually, before I even took over, I had a law drafted. I sent a man to Lagos to understudy Lagos. He went, he was received well. They took a whole day, they gave him lectures and everything, and then they gave him documents in both hard and soft copy. He returned with. I now sent him to Kano. He did the same. So he came back and we put everything together. It is foolhardy for me to think I can go and import what is happening in Lagos and apply it in Bauchi wholesale. It can't happen. Even the system that is utilized in Kano cannot be transplanted to Bauchi. They are two different societies. All right? So I sat down, I took a look at the two, and I took out those things I think I can be able to apply in Bauchi. I put them in a draft bill and sent them to the House of Assembly. Thankfully, the House of Assembly has passed that law. That will now form the basis. Apart from that, there are certain moves we have made. I again sent people to Kano, Jigawa, and Kaduna to understudy an agency they have set up. In Kano, it's called Karota. Kaduna, I don't know what they call it, and Jigawa. We intend to call our own Barota, all right, for Bauchi. This will first and foremost give employment to a lot of our youth, and then two, it will now ensure obedience to traffic regulations. Three, it will enhance the revenue base of the state. Something like the last mile we have in Lagos. In Lagos. All right? We have that in the offing. We are right now commencing the registration of Okada and Keke Napep operators in the state. This is to ensure enhanced security in the state because of our location within the northeastern sub-region, and then also derive some revenue out of the operation of this crop of people. Majorly, I have undertaken trips to China, to Lebanon, to the Czech Republic, and to Hong Kong to attract investors in three areas. One, agriculture, which is the mainstay of the economy of the state, because 85% of the population of the state practice one form of agriculture or the other. I intend to use agriculture in two ways. One, to improve the way these smallholder farmers, who form 85% of the population, the way they do agriculture. Because today they practice agriculture in rudimentary form. All right, these ordinary local form. We now want to improve it by introducing intermediary equipment. We cannot deceive ourselves into thinking that we can be able to mechanize agriculture overnight. It's capital intensive. But along the way, when my trips to Czech Republic and China now revealed to me that there are certain intermediary machineries that will take the drudgery out of farming and probably encourage our youth to turn to farming. We want to introduce it.
Do you have plans to make use of STER? I know STER is in Bauchi.
STER is in Bauchi.
Yes.
STER is in Bauchi. The unfortunate situation in Nigeria is that, for example, if you want to produce a matchbox in China and produce the same matchbox in STER Nigeria Limited, at the end of the day, the matchbox produced in STER will cost 100 naira, while that of China will cost between 30 and 40 naira. And if that happens, STER has already maneuvered itself out of the market. This is the unfortunate situation because they have to produce their own energy themselves. This adds a lot of cost to the production. So what I did was, when I returned from China after seeing sat by Czech Republic and China, I invited them. The chairman happens to be an elder, a title holder of the state, and a very supportive member of the Republic, the Waziri of Bauchi. I invited them, we had a meeting with them, they showed me what they could do, and we are doing a comparative study. If we are going to be able to produce these ones in STER, definitely we will use STER to do that. The other aspect is to do large-scale agriculture. And for that, I have had discussions with quite a number of people, particularly in China, who are interested to come. And they will look at the potentials we have, especially for irrigation, and see if we can be able to collaborate through PPP. And that is one aspect where I sent in a bill immediately I took over to do a PPP law in Bauchi State to determine the parameters. I have done that. It's in the office. The second area is, of course, solid minerals. There isn't any solid mineral under the sun that is not found in one part of Bauchi State or the other. But today, Bauchi State does not earn a single kobo out of solid minerals. So we are changing the style of doing business. Right now that I'm talking to you, the MD of our solid minerals company and then the DG of my investment promotion agency are in my office waiting for me. We have a meeting to determine the way forward as far as solid minerals are concerned. I have made various contacts all over the world, and people have shown interest, but there are certain groundworks that we need to put in place before we now bring in these people. We ultimately intend to conduct an investment promotion summit in Bauchi, probably the first quarter of next year. And a lot of these people are expected in. The third area is, of course, tourism, for which we have some advantage. We have the Yankari Game Reserve, which we have been trying to bring up to speed. I have a special love for the place because I spent 2 years of my working life as company secretary, legal advisor of that outfit. So I know the in and out of Yankari Game Reserve, and I believe with the addition of value, little addition of value to that place, we can be able to turn it around and turn it into a revenue yielding outfit. We have another park we call the Sumo Game Park. Sumo was set up about 10 years ago. The difference between Yankari and Sumo is Sumo houses animals that are rare to the western part of Africa. We got these animals from the eastern part of Africa, from Kenya and Namibia actually. When we brought them to Nigeria, they started breeding. We have animals like giraffe, which are not common, like zebras, like elands, and many others in the Sumo Game Park. With Sumo, we have a visit to Hong Kong. We got at least one investor interested in coming and taking over Sumo and developing Sumo. Because right now, Sumo is in its rudimentary stages. You can go, you can see the animals, but you don't have like accommodation or anything around that place. So we intend to develop a tourism